What up, my people? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are diving into Blackpink's Whistle and Boombayah. So, taking it all the way back to day one, I know it's been a little bit of time since I've done a Blackpink reaction to all my blinks. I apologize. It has been a very busy few weeks catching up on all the new BTS work and some of their prior work, but all my love for Blackpink, the blinks is the same. Nothing has changed. I am ready to get back to it, and with Coachella around the corner, I'm excited to revisit, or in my case for the first time, check out Blackpink's Coachella performances from over the years. I don't know, I think that could be a quick little blast from the past while Coachella's going on, relive some of their best moments, and for my circumstance, live it for the first time. Anyways, though, I want to take it back to the beginning because I've seen a lot of what's going on today, but I gotta learn about their roots more than I have already. So with that being said, let's dive into Whistle.
Hey boy, make him whistle like a missile, bomb, bomb. Every time I show up, blow up, make him whistle like a missile, bomb, bomb. Every time I show up, blow up, 너무 아름다워, 널 잊을 수가 없어. 그 눈빛이 아직 나를 이렇게 설레게 해, boom boom. 24, 365 오직 너와 같이 하고파. 낮에도 이 밤에도 이렇게 너를 원해. Yeah. 모든 남자들이 날 매일 check out. 대부분이 날 가질 수 있다 착각할 때 많은 걸 원치 않아 맘을 원해 난. 넌 심장을 도려내 보여봐. 아주 씩씩하게 대로 씩씩하게 so hot 내가 어쩔 줄 모르게 해. 나지막히 불러줘 내 귓가에 도는 휘파람처럼. 이대로 지나치지 마요. 너도 나처럼 날 잊을 수가 없다면. 널 향한 이 마음의 fire. 내 심장이 빠르게 뛰잖아. 점점 가까이 들리잖아. 휘바람 휘바람 바람. Can you hear that? 휘바라바라바라밤. 휘바람 휘바람 바람. Can you hear that? 휘바라바라바라밤. Hold up. 아무 말 하지마. Just whistle to my heart. 그 소리가 지금 나를 이렇게 설레게 해. Boom boom. 생각은 지루해. 느낌이 Every day, all day. 내 곁에만 있어줘 zoom zoom. 언제나 는 stylin'. 도도하지만 네 앞에 some darling. 뜨거워지잖아 like a desert island. 널 알아갈수록 울려대는 마음속 그만 내빼 넘어와라 내게 boy. 이젠 checkmate 게임은 내가 win. 난 널 택해 안아줘도 세게 누가 널 가로채하기 전에 내가 이대로 지나치지 마요. 너도 나처럼 날 잊을 수가 없다면. 널 향한 네 마음은 fire. 내 심장이 빠르게 뛰잖아. 점점 가까이 들리잖아. 휘바람 바람. Can you hear that? 휘바라바라바라밤. 휘바람 휘바람 바람. Can you hear that? 휘바라바라바라밤. This beat got me feeling like 바람처럼 스쳐가는 흔한 인연이 아니길. 많은 말은 필요 없어. 지금 너의 곁에 나를 데려가줘. Make him whistle like a missile, bomb, bomb. Every time I show up, blow up, Make him whistle like a missile, bomb, bomb. Every time I show up, blow up,
Alright, so that was Whistle, and before we get into Boombia, my main takeaways right out the gate were when you look at somebody's roots, their original songs, especially when they have label backing from the get-go, typically you think it would take more time to find your voice and the production would be next level. On this, it actually felt a little bit the opposite compared to most young developing artists, where I feel like the production was a little more underwhelming than they were. Not in like a bad way, but more the dance break, the drop section, it didn't blow my mind. Not from a standpoint of their performance, their way of going about it, but really just the drop section wasn't all too crazy. And I guess my expectations would have been they were going to be finding their vocal sounds, but the production would be next level already. Truthfully, Rosé's always had a gifted voice. Lisa's always had the right attitude and just the loud personality that shines through today. Jisoo, in all the pre-choruses and back half of choruses with Rosé, sounds amazing. And I think Jennie was definitely the most developing, I would say, on the vocal side, where when it came to her rap verse, bars are good, everything is clear, enunciating well. But I think as someone like myself who's not hypercritical of music but pays a lot of attention to detail, you can tell most she was finding her sound still. And similar in the way I kind of said with J-Hope early on. Not that I didn't like his verses or the way he was enunciating, but when I listened to early BTS, I felt that you could just see he was trying to find his voice. Not atypical for a lot of artists. I mean, most artists say it takes them nearly a decade. I mean, Charlie Puth just talked about he's 10 years plus into his career in the business side, and he finally just released a project that feels like who he is. So that's never me discrediting an artist. That's me just kind of pointing out what I found interesting about this song. The other main thing is, obviously, I didn't expect to be crazy here, but the substance has evolved levels. Like, I know a lot of fans weren't too happy with Deadline after waiting for years, felt like it wasn't all that they wanted, but I felt that the substance on Deadline, for the most part, was really strong. And on their solo works the past few years has been really strong substance in terms of the context of what they're giving you, the messaging of the songs. This had a different goal and an agenda. So I never will compare old work to new work on the foundation of better or worse, etc. This laid the blueprint. From watching this, if you would have showed me this years ago, I'd say there's star power, which is what they were aiming for. With early releases like this, you're trying to see what potential does a group have to go from here. And I would say vocally, cadence-wise, energy-wise, it's there. The main pieces I would say I'm questioning was, one, the production just felt a little all over. Like the transitions from the chorus sections to the rap verses and the drops wasn't seamless. It wasn't perfect. And you could tell in the video, like when they're having their dance moments, they're not as fluid yet, which I don't expect them to be again. But confidence comes over time. And nowadays, they know how badass they are. Looking back, you could see now that there's a little bit of hesitancy in certain ways. They're just figuring it out, feeling it out. Even as a group, I don't know how cohesive they knew each other early on in their careers and how close they were. Obviously, please let me know in the comments more about the tracks, the history of it all, the timeline. But yeah, I mean, great first track. Most artists delete their first early on songs. And I'm talking a lot of big artists in America, their earliest albums get taken off Spotify when they sign bigger deals. I mean, Feed the Streets 1 by Roddy Ricch. I remember I loved a few songs of that project. By the time he was signed and blowing up, that project was off of Spotify. They said that is not staying up. So yeah, I mean that was Whistle. It was a cool one. Let's get into Boombia. Already this drop's gonna be crazier.
Blackpink in your area. Blackpink in your area. Ain't a bad girl, I know I am. And I'm so hot, I need a fan. I don't want a boy, I need a man. Click, clack, bada bing, bada boom. 문을 박 차면 모두 날 바라본. 굳이 애써 노력 안 해도 모든 남자들의 코피가 팡팡팡. 팡팡, 바라바라 팡팡팡. 지금 날 위해 축배를 짠짠짠. Hands up. 내 손에 바라볼라 해니 네가 말로만 듣던 걔가 나야. Jennie. 춤추는 불빛이 날 감싸고 도네. Black to the pink 어디서든 특별해. Oh yes. 쳐다보던 we're gonna wanna dance like 따라라란딴 따라라란딴 부르르 bounce. Rambo. 네 손이 내 허리를 감싸고도 Front to my back 내 몸매는 특별해 네 눈빛은 I know you wanna touch Like touch 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 두루루빠 좋아 이 분위기가 좋아 난 지금 네가 좋아 정말 멋있어 오늘 밤 너와 춤추고 싶어 붐바야 야야야 붐바야 야야야 붐바야 야야야야 붐붐바 붐붐바 오빠 야야야야야야야야야야 야야야야야야야야야야 야야야야야야야야야야야야야야야야 붐붐바 붐바야 오늘은 내 정신 따윈 버리고 하늘을 넘어서 올라갈 거야 끝을 모르게 빨리 달리고 싶어 Let's go Let's go 오늘은 내 정신 따윈 버리고 하늘을 넘어서 올라갈 거야 끝을 모르게 빨리 달리고 싶어 Let's go Let's go
You know, it's funny. So I take back what I said about Jenny. I blame that more on the production off the first track because I do just think, to me personally, the production on Whistle was underwhelming. And on this one, Jenny comes out with a lot more energy because the song gives her that support. And I feel like maybe the first one she was finding her footing more. Personal opinion. Now, when groups come out with new projects, early work like this, it seems that they probably were testing the water to a degree on they had an idea of the direction they wanted to go, but still a little bit different directions between Whistle and Boombayah. This one, I would guess, was the bigger. I would say this was a more exciting piece of work. And now knowing more about where they've gone over the time, over the years, this fits better with who they are in terms of identity these days. My only things I didn't love about the video, for example, would be they feed off of energy in the room. They feed off a crowd. From what I would understand, you guys are all saying watch Coachella. So my guess is they feed off a crowd. There's a good connection with their audience. And so when I look at this video, the scenes that stood out most were they had other people roller skating with them. It was the most fun scene. They're all just laughing, enjoying themselves. And there's a lot of performance shots, but there's also B-roll shots as well. So performance shot is when they're like strictly like singing, dancing. More of a B-roll shot's gonna be they're in that performance environment, but doing other things. When you had them doing the shots that was kind of them alone in that one space, if I just quickly go back, when they're in this room, it's kind of low energy. They're just figuring out, because if you really think about it, it's not the most exciting scene for them to shoot. I felt like at this part of the song, it was starting to drag a little based off the video, but when you get back to here, you're like the smiles on their faces are more genuine, like than just like stage. Like Lisa's clearly just having a great time, enjoying this, versus here they're like sliding under each other's legs, trying to figure it all out. Like it's very staged to a degree, and very typical. This is me just talking from like how artist development works, and when there's labels helping to start new projects, what the priorities are. So it's cool to see how they've grown into themselves and grown into their own and become bigger, more deep level thinking artists, because this was more onomatopoeias, personification of just sounds and fun excitement to create an anticipated drop, a big dance scenes. And it was just a fun vibe, which I think is cool. It's important when you're a young artist to like show you can make fun music, and that's what this gave me. So if I was watching this 10 years ago and you asked me, do I think they could make it? I'd say, yeah. I'd say there's definitely room for them to be superstars. You hear it in the tonal qualities. Lisa has always had that A1 attitude where she's just ready to step on the scene and make noise. Jenny, I wasn't sure on the first track, but I saw it here that like it's clear like Jenny was doing her thing. You have Rosé's voice has always been flawless. And Jisoo, even then, her tonal quality, I don't know how to describe it, but it's always just sound like she's from a different era. Her way of singing is just very unique to her and mesmerizing to me. So looking at those two, yeah, I understand exactly where the hype was early on. I mean, let me know in the comments, how did people react to these songs out the gate? I know they've obviously done well over time, these two tracks, but also they as a group have grown very well over time. But were you on this from day one, or did you come back to Spheres later like, okay, and what are your thoughts now? Are you sharing the same perspective as me, or do you feel like, nah, I missed the mark on this, maybe I gotta listen back as well? To me, again, like I now know the future And that can make it more difficult to go back to the roots. So when I go to the roots, I try and think about the potential that was there, because substance wise is what I most appreciate with music. I feel like Jenny offers a lot of depth in her lyricism these days. I feel like Lisa always brings another level of energy that she had here, but on the first track, the beat wasn't matching her there. Rosé's voice is amazing, and most of all, there is a unique ability she has to make just her sadness show in a way that's enlightening. And then Jisoo, again, always from a different era, providing just that spark. So I see the hype. I understand exactly how they ended up where they did, but I'd love to hear from you all again, where you're at with this stuff. So that was Whistle and Boombaya. I had a great time. Blinks, don't worry. I got more coming on the way. I am traveling this weekend, so it's going to be a little slow the next few days. But then when I get back, don't worry. I got a lot coming for Coachella week, highlighting those moments. And as always, let me know in the comments what you want to see most so I can get those videos done as well. Appreciate you as always. Have a good one.